Hydrated potassium carbonate K2CO3.XH2O is a weak base. A solution is prepared by dissolving some of the solid in water. We leave out 7.1. 7.2 reads, write down the formula of the conjugate acid of the carbonate. So if you have been given something like the CO3 2-, and you want to figure out what the conjugate acid of that is going to be, remember an acid simply has one extra proton, or in other words, one extra H. So all we're going to do is we're going to add one H to it and change the oxidation number. So CO3 2-, we're going to add an H to it. It's going to become HCO3, and 2- becomes 1-. And that's our answer. So just remember that if you want the acid of something, add a proton and add 1 to the oxidation number. If you want the base, remove a proton and -1 from the oxidation number. Moving on. A hydrochloric acid solution, HCl, of concentration 0.1 moles per dm cubed is titrated with the prepared potassium carbonate solution of unknown concentration. The balanced equation of the reaction is, so K2CO3 plus 2HCl gives you 2KCl plus CO2 plus H2O. The results of the titration are given below. So 7.3 says determine the value of P and Q. So that's this value here and this value here. Now it can be a bit confusing if you don't know how a burette works, because a burette is set up like this. So you basically have like a tube like this, and you have the numbers starting at the top. And as you are dispensing liquid, the level decreases. So what they are saying is the initial reading is 6.5, right? And it stops at P. So the numbers increase as you go down. So we want to know what P is, and they tell us the volume used. So from here to here is 20.05. So if you want to know what P is going to equal 6.5 plus 20.05, which is 26.55. And likewise for Q, if you draw another burette here, so we are starting at Q, we don't know what Q is, and we know we are ending at 48.3. We know the volume that was dispensed, so from here to here is 20.15. If you want to know what Q is going to equal 48.3 minus 20.15, which is equal to 28.13. And this is cm cubed, and that is cm 15, not 13, 15 cm cubed. Let me just neaten that up. So 28.15. Okay. So 7.4, methyl orange is used as an indicator. Explain why methyl orange is used, or why is it the most suitable indicator. So if you look at the reaction, HCl is a strong acid, and KCO3, they tell us it is a weak base. So a weak base and a strong acid will give us a salt that is acidic. So we're going to have an acidic salt. So what we're going to need is we are going to need to use an indicator that is sensitive to pH ranges that are acidic, and that is methyl orange. So methyl orange is sensitive to pHs that are less than 7. And we need that because we expect our salt that's forming to be acidic. Question 7.5, calculate the concentration of the K2CO3 solution. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use our acid-base titration formula, which is CAVA over CBVB equals NA over NB. Now the concentration of the acid was given to us. It was 0.1. The volume of the acid is given to us here. It is 25. Now, when you use this formula, you don't need to convert to dm cubed. So that's the beauty of this formula. Then Cb is what we want. The volume of the base. Now, if you notice, we have two different volumes. So what do? We take the average. So the average volume is going to be 20.05 plus 20.15 divided by 2, which is 20.1. So 20.1 goes here. And then Na over Nb, that's straight from our reaction, our chemical reaction. So H, the acid is 2 and the base is 1. It is the mole ratio. And now you can solve for Cb. So Cb is equal to 0.062 moles per dm cubed. Now let's move on to the last question. The above K2CO3 solution used in the reaction was prepared by completely dissolving 6.525 grams of the hydrated potassium carbonate in 600 cm cubed of water. Calculate the value of X. So they want to know what is X here. So what do we know about this solution at the start? Well, we know its concentration. We just worked out the concentration. So the concentration of this is 0.062. We know the mass, and so we can work out the molar mass. And we also know the volume. So we know the volume. So we can work out the molar mass. So the formula that we can use is going to be C is equal to M over capital M times V. So the concentration 0.062 is equal to the mass, which was 6,525. So 6.525 divided by the molar mass. We don't know, because remember, the molar mass includes the water. We don't know the number of waters, and so we don't know the molar mass. And in the volume, it was made in a 0.6 dm cubed amount of liquid. So we can solve for M, the molar mass. So the molar mass is equal to 174.84 grams per mole. Now we can use this to calculate how many waters there were if we start subtracting the different things. So for example, we know that potassium has a mass of 39. So K2CO3 dot XH2O, the mass of that is 174.84. So potassium is 39, we have 2 of them, plus carbon is 12, we have 1, plus 3 oxygens, and each one is 16, plus we don't know how many waters there are, but each water has a mass of 18, and that's equal to 174.84. Now we can solve for X. X is equal to 2. And so there are 2 water molecules attached to the K2CO3.